negative or less than you want to feel, see if you can love yourself just a little bit or a little bit more. I'm not encouraging the type of love that we feel superior to others, narcissistic love. That's not what I'm encouraging. I'm encouraging love that is accepting of ourselves the way we are, with our strength and weakness, with our positives and flaws, positives and negatives, and things we like, things we don't like. Simply accepting the way we are doesn't mean that we accept and keep our bad behaviors or choices, things we don't like. But there are things that we can change and we can work on. Maybe there's a trait that you may want to develop, such as being kind, compassionate, positive, patient. So you can work on those. And there are things that we may have physically, for instance, that we may not be able to change, just making peace and accepting them. And also there may be things that you wish you have more of, but it will need practice. Say, if you get very angry very quickly, you might have to accept that's within you, but there are things you can do. So simply just say, oh, I'm never going to be calm. That's sort of giving up. And but just saying there are things I can do to stay calm through my breathing. And noticing and stopping yourself before things gathered momentum. So those things, so just making peace that you might have to work at certain things. Some people are naturally patient and calm, and those don't need to make sort of make too much effort in staying calm, whereas others have to work really hard or harder at staying calm. But equally, some people that are calm, they might struggle a little bit more in social circumstances, whereas others perhaps are perceived as less calm. Perhaps they thrive in social circumstances. So just because that is one thing that you wish that were different and is not, doesn't mean that you can't change and maintain. So we're going to breathe into the belly to allow our breathing to return to a more coherent manner. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. And out. For example, okay, this is very relevant right now. Sometimes my memory goes and I forget what I was doing. Right, like now, what's the purpose of this video? Totally forgotten for a second. But now I remembered. After breathing, I remembered. Cheating. After breathing and focusing my mind, I remembered the purpose. I generally forgotten for a second or two. Just before the breathing, I've forgotten what the video was about. Terrible. Am I getting amnesia? I hope not. But by breathing then and staying calm, then I remembered. Let's breathe together again so I can remember some more. Oh gosh, it is true. Breathing. Breathe out. Breathe in. Now I remember. Breathe out. I just allowed the thought to come to my mind. It was about loving ourselves. So I'm going to love myself and make peace with the fact that sometimes my memory goes. And if I'm feeling anxious and stressed, it definitely goes. Which is natural. Because your body is concentrated on fight mode rather than concentrating mode, thinking mode. But I have to remind myself to sort of practice the breathing, calming down, and returning to a state of calm as often as I need. And may you find that too, for whatever is the attribute or skill that you need to practice on. You might need to have more energy. It doesn't matter. But let's just be a bit more loving to ourselves. Breathe in. Breathe out. There is a song that is, love lift us up where we belong. You know the song? I love it. Where the eagles cry, I think, and the mountains high, I think. Don't quote me on my lyrics, but although a very romantic song, and is sort of associated with a romantic love, I like to take that into a wider perspective of love. Because romantic love feels good when it's reciprocated, right? And also during the honeymoon phase. But how about other kinds of love that we have? We could love a pet and feel good. And that could be a mixture between love and appreciation. We can love plants and things and feel good. We can love friends and people and feel good. We can love our children and others' children and children in general, and that feels good. We can even love babies when they are peacefully sleeping or gently playing or smiling and laughing. Their energy just lifts us up. And the reason it lifts us up is because we are in a state of loving and appreciation. Because they could be there calm, joyful, smiling, laughing. But if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't even notice. So let's, if you're feeling negative or a little bit troubled, just close your eyes. Notice your breath. How is it? Is it shallow? Is it fast? Is it coherent? Is it deep and slow? Breathe in. Breathe out. And then you're going to choose to love yourself by telling, I love me. And if you have the courage, which is even better, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love me. And just repeat that until you find a genuine smile and appreciation, so that you can embrace yourself and the totality. Just love yourself, love others, love things, love what you're doing. And if you can't love what you're doing, find one thing in what you're doing to love and appreciate. Find one thing to appreciate and love in your day. It could be a person, obviously. If it's a romantic person, sometimes that's backfire, because if they don't love us back, then we might feel less than good. We can only sustain for a period of time that love. If there's an expectation to be loved by that person, then in time it can feel less than good. But if there's no expectation, simply loving, but not expecting any love in return or anything in return, then that's okay. It could be a god, you could love a god. You could love your clouds and the trees and the flowers. Just find one thing to love and appreciate. It could be a book. Just love and appreciate, because love does lift us up. As part of the lyrics, love lift us up where we belong. And where we belong in is a place of feeling connected. I know we can belong to many places because we are human beings, sometimes in the low, but we want the high. The high meaning is being connected to our best selves in the moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring your hands together in a prayer or palms over each other. Connect with your heart. Connect with your mind. Feel the peace, the tranquility. Smile in appreciation for those moments where you actually noticed the love, felt the love. Either when you loved or when you felt loved. Because when you're loving and appreciating, you feel good, you feel present. And when you feel loved and appreciated, it feels good. Perhaps you felt loved by your grandmother, or grandfather, or a friend, or even a stranger, or even a pet. Pets sometimes, they do love us. Or even yourself. Ultimately, when we're children, our love comes from others. But as we grow up, we also learn that to love ourselves. And the day that you can start loving yourself, then you will notice miracles in your life. It can go from despair to feeling at peace simply by loving yourself, making peace. Be compassionate. Give yourself a hug. I choose to love myself. Breathe in. Breathe out. I choose to find one thing to love and appreciate today. And just go about your day with that intention to find one thing to love and appreciate. Start with yourself and expand into things and others. It can even be a characteristic in others. It's like if you're dealing or living or seeing others, instead of focusing on the parts that you don't like, that annoys you, just focus on the parts that you love and appreciate. Everyone has a quality that we admire. Could be the calmness, the patience, the energy, the skill at doing certain things, the creativity, the kindness, the generosity. Doesn't matter. You just look at the bigger picture. Today I'm going to love and appreciate that skill, that person, or this thing, that thing, this pet. What is that? I love pets. I like dogs, the nice ones. I love their energy. I love their calmness. Obviously different dogs at different times behave differently. Sometimes they're calm and I love that. Sometimes they're playful and I love that. Sometimes they've got so much energy and I love that. Sometimes they're cute and I love that. Sometimes they're really funny in the way they walk and wag their tail and I love that. So find something to love. Either with ideally first or first as a must with yourself. Then things, then people, or then people and then things. And if you can love the whole person or the whole self, find one thing in yourself and others that you love and appreciate. Breathe in. Breathe out. May I find one thing to love and appreciate. May you find at least one thing to love and appreciate. Because love lifts us up where we belong. And if you can, go and listen to the song, it's beautiful. Love lifts us up. Joe Cocker or Joey Cocker. I'm not going to say all the names because I muddled them up. Might not say them right. Love lift us up. Find one thing to love and appreciate. And start with loving yourself. Accepting the whole self, plus and minuses, good and bad. Celebrate good. Make peace with that's good. And have hope and faith that in time you can work and you can get better. You can, because you can. While your heart is beating, there's still a possibility of change. Love, compassion, hug. Bye for now. Love lift us up where we belong.